Scott, 15 games now unbeaten here at Arbor Park after a brilliant win over Maidstone United. It's finished 2-1 here. I think there's a lot to talk about with this game as well. Just get your initial thoughts on the result and the game itself.
Yeah, like I said, I don't really know where to start. First of all, massive result. 15 unbeaten. I think that's going to be 5 months by the time we play our next home game that we've been unbeaten here. And yeah, immensely proud, I think, of everyone, not just the players, the staff, the supporters. It's definitely a joint effort from everyone to achieve something like that. And we want to continue it, of course. At some point it's going to have to go, but Maidstone are a good side. They're very effective with the way they play, but I thought we limited them to relatively few chances. I would have been really disappointed if they had gone away with something today, having got the penalty. It was a penalty, by the way, but I think it was really soft, and I'd have been upset if that was the goal that they scored to maybe go away with the point, because I thought we were quite solid for large parts of the game. Didn't cause us too many problems, and then obviously we found another level and a bit of quality from Slough, and then a pint of composure in the box from Johnny, which was incredible to watch. That's when he comes alive, when high pressure situations. He's obviously found the corner, and it just gives you that lift for the last 10-15 minutes, which I certainly needed, and I'm sure the boys did as well.
As you said there, the first half didn't really feel like there was many chances, but early on one found its way to Josh Chapman. And I think I've been told that there might have been a little bit of tactical nous from yourself. I think there's something about the left back, Azenalim. You seem to have known that he kind of gets forward quite a fair bit, and that seems to be how the first goal came about.
He's a really good player. He played against us a couple of years ago, I think, at Welling, and he was excellent. And he's kind of someone that I've looked at before and thought to myself, do you know what, going forward, he's excellent. And then defensively, he's a very good player. And I just thought we tried to cheat a little bit and leave David high and wide, just to try and be our outball when we won the ball back. But didn't really work too much in the first half. But then obviously the goal, it was a direct ball from me. I think that Bayliss has won the header and Josh has got him round the back, which is great. So it wasn't effective football it wasn't pretty football, but it was effective. You don't have to make, I think, 30-40 passes for a goal. I think we've worked out some stats recently, and we have the least passes in the league per shot. And then, listen, there's so many ways to skin a cat. I think we've had the most shots in the league out of any team. So it's something that we're good at. We get the ball forward, we go and win second balls, we play at high intensity, and we create chances, and that's something that we've always done. So overall, it's a great achievement to obviously beat a club like Maidstone. They're obviously going to Ipswich next week. To be in the fourth round of the FA Cup, it obviously shows they're no mugs. They're a full-time outfit, got some really good players. But for us, obviously, to get pegged back to 1-1 and then to find that quality, like I said, was huge, and it's a massive 3 points.
It was quite a physical game as well in the end. There was a number of knocks going into the break that was noticeable. Just a quick question I wanted to ask you, because it was also quite noticeable, was that it felt like they were maybe targeting Temi Aweka a bit during that first half, because he spent a lot of time taking knocks off the ball. That was quite noticeable. Yeah,
Temi loves that type of game. Listen, he'll go through 90 minutes of that, as will Bayliss, and I could name loads of others in the team as well. I think the one thing that there was today was a lot of yellow cards, because it was high intensity. It was quite robust at times. I thought the referee was excellent. I think he's probably, for me, the best referee in the league. And I think come Monday he might be moving on. So that just shows how good he is. He talks to you throughout the game. I thought he's got many of the decisions right. And I thought he refereed it really well. I think the yellow cards that he gave probably were yellow cards. But if someone wants to come and have a game like that with us, we usually stand up to it. Last week we didn't, but this week we certainly did. And to bounce back from what was a really disappointing result last week was massive today, to obviously get something, obviously close the gap on what's above us, and obviously make a bigger gap on what's below us. I think it's 15 points clear the relegation now. The obviously reporter from the newspaper just said to me there, "Are you not looking up?" And I said, "No, just each game as it comes." We know that the teams above us are huge teams. They're expected to be in the playoffs. When you look at the teams above us, people maybe argue Aveley are obviously the surprise package, but yeah, they're flying. But the other six are where they should be in terms of resources and things like that. But we're giving it a good go, and we will give it a good go until the day that we can't. And that's one thing I'm really proud of. We've got an honest bunch in there that give absolutely everything. And obviously last week was just an off day, and I'm so glad to sort of wipe the slate clean by getting 3 points today.
You complimented the referee's display in the end there. Dan Lincoln almost kind of saved that penalty as well. He got a hand to it, but it just kind of rippled over his fingers in the end. We also noticed throughout that second half, it looked like he was carrying it looked like a bit of a bad injury. How is he?
Yeah, he's got a tight calf, so I had to take goal kicks. And I think for the first time in my life, I realised how tiring goal kicks are. You try and boot it, as simple as that, as far as you can. And I said to him, I was like, how tiring is this? And he was just like, that's why I don't try and kick it as far as I can. So, yeah, he's got a bit of a tight calf. He said he'll be fine. Probably need to get a little massage and a little rest into him over the next few days, because we've obviously got a big one on Tuesday. But I think it was good to see, obviously, Tyrese back. He came through unscathed. And then I think the most pleasing thing of the day is when Dan went down, I went over and had a chat with Chrissy and Yella, just about how we might be able to tweak things. And we ummed and ahed about taking off Johnny or David to go 2 up top, and we felt like Johnny just had that moment maybe that we might need. Lo and behold, obviously David goes off, Slavy comes on, finds that ball into the box, and Johnny obviously slots it away. So it's a really pleasing day when things like that happen, and credit to Yella and Chrissy as well for the discussion that we had. We were all in agreement, and we just said in there, like, everyone feels like they played their part today. It was a massive effort from everyone. Supporters at the end there, obviously over 1,000 people. We've probably benefited from there being postponements today, but I feel like we should be getting over 1,000 every week. We've been 15 unbeaten, we can't do any more. I think the atmosphere at the moment is great, and we'd love people to be coming more regularly every week. We obviously see the same faces most weeks, but if we can get a few more people through the game, through the door, I think they'll start to enjoy it.
You mentioned there about his brilliant assist, but surely you, of all people, wouldn't expect someone to make a significant impact in the game in less than, what was it, about 8-10 seconds there from Slavy?
Yeah, I think with Slavy, he's obviously won the free kick that's got the lad sent off, and I didn't even realise he'd been booked, so that helps for sure. But Slavy's attitude is absolutely brilliant. I had to speak to him on Thursday night and say to him that you're not going to start. He was going to start against Taunton, and we changed it obviously for today because they're 2 different types of games. And he was disappointed, but he understands. Nathan's been sort of spearheading the attack over the last 14 games, playing at home, and we just knew what we'd get from Nathan. He's been reliable for us over the past few months, and it was unfortunate for Slavy, but he'll get his opportunity on Tuesday night for sure. Thought he was absolutely brilliant when he came on, as were the other subs as well. They all played their part. There's starters in this game, there's impactors and there's finishers. There's 3 types of people, and I think the people that started done their jobs. People came on, impacted it, and people certainly finished it as well together. So we've got a really good group in there. If you could measure togetherness, we'd be right up there. It's a really good group and an honest bunch that hopefully can go and win the next game. That's all we're looking to do.
Just before I ask you then about Tuesday evening's game against Worthing, which is, as you say, it's going to be a very difficult one. How do you assess the squad after that game? Because it did look like there was a number of knocks across all the players, including yourself as well, just after the break.
Yeah, I got bashed around the head a couple of times. Got bashed on the knee and whatnot. But it was that type of game. It felt like it was 100 miles an hour. People will look after themselves tonight. There won't be people going out tonight, I can assure you that. So going to Worthing on Tuesday night, we know it'll be a tough place to go. I think they're the best footballing team in the league. Really, really difficult. We'll have to go there and set up in a way that we can be, it could be productive, that we obviously are in the game and we can compete. We want to go and win it, but we know it'll be tough. There's no point in going there on the back foot and trying to sit in and be defensive and try and play for a draw and nick something. So we'll have to see who's ready to go Tuesday night. Huge game, but winning today certainly takes that pressure off a little bit. So yeah, I'll go home happy, as I'm sure the lads will, the management team, the supporters. Overall, it's been a fantastic day.
Congratulations, Scott, and well done on the win.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.